Okay, so now I'm going to show you a simple home exercise program that you can do with minimal equipment for those of you who are suffering with back pain, those of you who have back muscle spasm, back muscle stiffness, for example, construction workers, office workers, truck drivers, and police officers. Okay, so the first exercise we need to do is really a self-massage of the lower back using a tennis ball. Everyone has access to this. And the tennis ball is going to be used to massage from the trapezius region all the way down into the lower back. The main principle here is that you want to keep the tennis ball off the bony points, for example, the shoulder blade, the spine, and the pelvic bones. Okay? You are keeping the tennis ball on the muscular parts. So you're going to, either on a carpet or a mat, what you're going to do, basically going to put the tennis ball starting at the lower back, on the muscular region. You can keep the buttocks on the floor or lift it off the floor. Roll back and forth, really getting the tennis ball to massage the muscle. You can also cross the leg on the side that you are working. Roll back and forth, really loosen up those muscles. Then you bring the ball a little further up to the mid-back zone. Back and forth, really getting out all those tight spots and loosening up that muscle. Then bring it further up, put it between the spine and the shoulder blade. As you can see right there, lean back on the ball, back and forth. You may get some spots that are a bit more painful than usual, and you really, for example, right there, you really keep the ball there, do some small, short, focused movements. Really get those tight spots, or what we call knots, out. You can start with the arm on the tummy here, and you can put the arm out to the side, put the arm above the head. And for those of you who may have some tight spots right up here, you may need to use the other hand to hold the ball in place. Really lean, get those tight spots out. Okay? So, when you're finished with one side, then you do the other side. Now, when you're done with that, you're going to do an exercise in which the lower back presses into the mat. So imagine someone had their hand between your back and the mat, and you were trying to press their hand into the mat using your lower back by pushing your back down and release. Okay? You don't actually have to have your hand there. That was just for demonstration purposes. So you're here now, and you press the lower back into the mat, hold for a second, and you release. Press the lower back into the mat, and you release. We'll call this a lower back mobility exercise. Into the mat, and release. Do it for around 10 to 15 times. Push into the mat, and release. Next exercise you want to do is a standard exercise called the bridge exercise, in which you make a bridge with the body. Remain in this position, hands on the tummy, come up, hold for a second, and you come back down in a controlled manner. Come up, hold for a second, come back down in a controlled manner. Up again, contract. This really works the lower back, the buttocks, and the hamstrings, and come down. What you don't want to do is to have a brisk ballistic movement like this, up, and then flop back down like that, okay? It's up, contract, and down. Okay, again, do this at 10 to 15 times. If you can do it 20 times, or you can do that as well. As you get stronger and stronger, you can add some weight to the movement. For example, you can hold a dumbbell, a 10-pound plate, a 25-pound plate on the tummy here, and you can come up, keep it in place, and you come back down. Okay? Also as well, you can even combine these first two movements. So you can do this. Down, into the mat, release, and come up. Come back down, into the mat, release, and come up. Okay? That's a combination movement that you may or may not choose to do. The next exercise is the lying trunk twist. And what you're going to do, you're going to keep both feet together like this, hand on the tummy, and keeping both shoulders planted on the mat or on the floor while you're doing this. Let the legs drop to the side. Come back up to neutral. Back down to the side. Come back up to neutral. Again, you're not doing this very quickly in order to quickly complete the exercise. So if you're doing this, okay, that is wrong. Don't do that. Again, in a controlled fashion, go as far as you can. Come back up to neutral. And to the other side, keeping both shoulders planted on the floor throughout the movement. Do this movement 20 to 30 times total. Now, as you get stronger and stronger, you can do it a bit more advanced, where the feet are off the floor. Okay. Feet are off the floor. Again, in a controlled fashion, don't let the legs flop down like this. Okay, don't do that. Controlled. Up, back to neutral. In a controlled fashion. Again, keeping the shoulders planted on the floor at all times. When you finish, come back down. Okay. Okay, so when you're finished doing the bridge exercise as well as the trunk twist, you want to stretch the lower back, buttocks, and hamstrings. So I'll go back on the floor. So let's say you finished, completed your set of bridges. To stretch the lower back, bring both knees towards the chest. Pull them towards the chest. You're supposed to feel a slight stretch in the lower back. Okay? You do not bounce like this. Instead, hold like this. If you're having knee problems, you can always come and hold around the hamstrings. You can either use the palms here or you can interlock the hands like this. Again, no bouncing. Hold for 30 seconds. And gently come down. One of the mistakes we see people make is that in coming from this position, they do this. Okay, don't do that. Especially if you're having back pain or trying to treat back pain. When you're here, for safety's sake, keep the knees bent and come back down slowly. Okay, so that's the lower back. Now to stretch the glute muscle or the buttocks, make a figure 4. To stretch the glute on this side, you're grabbing the opposite leg, you're coming around the opposite leg, and then passing your hand through here. Grip this leg, pull towards you, and you're going to feel a bit of a stretch from this zone to this zone. Again, there's no bouncing in these movements. And when you're done, you just switch to the other side and repeat the movement. Now, alternatively, you can do this when the leg is in the figure 4 movement. Instead of pulling this leg, what you can do is take this knee and pull it in that direction. So you're like this. Do a bit of a stretch over here. Or you can do a combination of both, where you hold this leg right here, then you grab your knee and you pull it as well. Okay? Release and gently come back down. So you can do either one of the 3, whichever one gives you the stretch on the glute region. Then you come to the hamstring with this muscle right here. Stretch it, bring the leg up like this, grab the hamstring, keep the leg straight, pull the foot back, and pull towards you. You feel a stretch on the hamstring muscle. Again, the same rule applies. There's no bouncing in doing the hamstring stretch. You hold it there for 30 seconds. And when you're done, bend the knee and then release. Okay, so these 3 stretches for the lower back, the glutes, and the hamstring can be done after you complete your bridge exercise or your trunk twist. So the abdominal muscles are also important in protecting the back. So I'm going to show you 2 exercises, the plank exercise for the abdominal muscle and the side plank for the oblique abdominals. So as everyone knows the plank exercise, well, most of you do. Come down in this position, forearms on the floor, come up like this, look forward. So you're making a plank with the body. This engages the abdominal muscles. Hold for as long as you can. And when you're done, come back down. Okay, so that's the plank exercise. And the side plank, as it suggests, turn to your side, put the elbow directly under the shoulder. Don't have the elbow out there or the elbow here. Right here. Try to be as straight as possible. And then you engage the oblique abdominal to make a side plank. Up and down. Up and down. If you get in trouble, to do this, you can give yourself some assistance with the free hand. Put it right here. As you're coming up, push into the floor and come back down. Push, come back down. To work your way up to be able to do this, if you're unable to do it, what you can do, push, move the arm, put it back down, and come down. Come up, let it go, and come back down. And then you do it for the other side as well. Try to do as much as you can. Our next exercise that you can do is the Superman exercise, where lay down on your tummy like this. Hands to your side. You come up, look forward. You can raise your legs if you want to. Get the chest off the floor, and come back down. If you can't raise the legs off the floor, that's fine. You can start and do this, and eventually work your way up to this movement. And you come back down. As you get stronger and stronger, you can bring your arms more and more forward. So, and the next level up for the Superman exercise would be with the arms right here. Come up and down. As you get stronger, inch forward, up and down. As you get stronger again, come forward, up and down. Okay, manage as much as you can comfortably. And this is also a great exercise for the lower back. So now I'm going to show you a stretch to stretch the psoas muscle. And one of the main functions of the psoas muscle is to flex the hip like this. Okay, that muscle tends to be tight in people who have office jobs or people who just sit for long hours. So to stretch the psoas muscle, spread the mat. Get an object where you can support yourself, like a chair or a table. So let's say you want to stretch the psoas on the left side. You put the left leg behind and the right leg to the front. Come down like this. Notice where the knee is. Notice where the position of the foot. And then you lean forward, support yourself. Look straight ahead. Some people have a tendency to lean forward like this. Okay, don't do that. You're up, look straight ahead. No bouncing. Just hold the position. And when you're done, hold for around 30 seconds to a minute. When you're done, take this leg, push back, slide, and come out of it. Stretch your right side. Let's turn this way. Again, stretch your right side. Right leg is behind you. Left leg is at the front. Support yourself. Lean forward. No bouncing. Feel the stretch in there. Look straight ahead. No leaning forward like this. And when you're done, push out, slide out a bit. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed our simple back exercise routine. I encourage you to give it a try. If you have any questions, you can call us and contact us for an appointment if you think you need to do so.